Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon podcast. My guest today is Cecilia Hsueh, the founder of Morph. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me here, Rocco.
Let's get stuck right into Morph. I want to ask you, how can a layer 2, right, like Morph, truly bridge the gap between blockchain technology and everyday consumers?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So Morph is actually, well, as you said, we are EVM layer 2, but I would better position ourselves as a consumer layer. So by saying layer, actually, there's a lot of meanings besides the blockchain itself, because by saying blockchain, it's basically only a technology. As you said, that it's a pure technology, which is probably far away from the everyday users. And what we are doing is that making us as a bridge to connect both sides. So on one side, we see that blockchain technology is solving a lot of problems like decentralization, the problem of centralization. But on the other hand, we also see that it's so complicated. It's far away from people's life. We see a lot of scalability solutions, scaling solutions on the market. Probably there are around 200 scaling solutions as layer 2s on the market. Jeez. And comparing with each other, they are just optimizing very minor technical features with each other. And with this, if you are just comparing with higher TPS, parallel EVM, non-parallel EVM, it actually doesn't make too much sense to the end users because they don't care whether you are 100,000 TPS. Whether it's 100,000 TPS or 1,000 TPS, they don't care. As long as it's usable, they're happy, right? So this is the problem we see on the market when we start this project. There are too many infras, but too less users. So what we are going to solve here is to focus on building for everyday users, which means that the whole UX, the UI should be super easy, super simple for normal users to access. It's not built for crypto native people. It's built for retail users, your friend, your family, anyone who can use internet, who's interested to use an application on their phone. So it should be as simple as that. And the other thing is that we should build more things which is related to your daily life. It shouldn't be things about, only about DeFi, about GameFi, about NFT. Yes. 40% of the apps are DeFi applications, but for normal users, they don't know so much knowledge about a DeFi product. They need to spend so much time to spend in a community to think about how can we do the DeFi farming? How can I do staking so that they can use the product? But for the most 99% of retail users on the market, they don't know how to use it. So why not build for something which is close to their daily life? For example, entertainment, loyalty, lifestyle, social related application. And also the ones we are paying a lot of attention and making a lot of efforts in is the payment and transaction related applications. Yeah,
I love it. What's the difference between layer 1 protocols and layer 2 protocols?
I think for a lot of projects which come to layer 2 is because that they think for layer 1 is too expensive to use. Also they need better scaling solutions. Okay. So if you compare with building on Ethereum directly, then it's definitely too expensive to build directly there. And also, but definitely people are considering about, for example, building on Solana or building on Ethereum layer 2s. They just have different perspectives in terms of different, layer 1 as a base chain. Yeah.
Okay, you touched on scalability, right? And I'm familiar with ZK rollups, but you guys use two forms. You use something called optimistic rollups. Is that right? So I've got no clue what optimistic rollups is. So you sort of need to explain to me what optimistic rollups is and how the two kind of fit together.
Yeah. So we are actually using optimistic ZK rollup. Basically, we are putting optimistic rollup and ZK rollup together as a hybrid one. I believe we are also one of the first ones who do the hybrid thing. The reason why we chose to be hybrid is because that we think that ZK rollup is still at early stage back in 2023 when we just started to build it.
Yes.
We think it's very early stage technology, and also the fee is super high, the cost is super high. So that's why we find a middle point to combine OP and ZK together. And the outcome is that it's much more, it's much safer than a pure optimistic rollup, and also it's more cost efficient than the ZK rollup. That's
okay,
basically
cool.
the
How does
advantage.
an optimistic rollup work? That's sort of not high technical, just sort of layman's terms.
Yeah, so basically they're using this like fraud-proof challenge.
Mm-hmm.
They have a 7 days of challenge window. If no one challenge you, then they think that you are safe, but actually it's not
Okay.
100% safe. Yeah,
Okay, and so
yeah,
that's why you sort of combine it with ZK. Okay, that makes 100% sense. And then the
yeah.
second thing is something that I also am not familiar with is something called a decentralized sequencer network. What is that?
Yeah. So basically, a lot of layer twos. So you know that's the key value of the whole blockchain is like safety, decentralization, and scalability, right? But the thing is, with a lot of layer twos, although we are solving a problem of scalability, we are kind of like neglecting the decentralization problem, because most of the layer twos are just using the centralized sequencer, which means that there's only one sequencer in the whole network. And that sequencer can definitely do anything they want. They can manipulate a lot of things. So that's why there's problem of MEV. And also there's problem of one single point like failure. If this sequencer is not working, then the whole chain will not stop working. So that's a big problem, a big issue. So that's why we need a decentralized sequencer, which we, on testnet, we have like 7 sequencers. It will solve the problem of single point failure. Even one sequencer is not working, the whole chain is still running. And also because it's decentralized, so there won't be one sequencer to manipulate all these transactions, these orders.
Wow.
So yeah, this is
Didn't even realize
advantage.
that's a massive issue. If Morph, if you talked about entertainment, and you talked about finance, if you could partner with any brand in the world, whether entertainment, fashion, tech, who would you choose, and like what would you collaborate on?
Well, I think a lot of chains, a lot of the other layer one, layer twos, they have collaborated with the big names in Web 2, in traditional industries. But the thing is that we haven't really figured out how to leverage the blockchain technology, the on-chain technology, to help them to move a step forward. Basically, it's still about like co-branding. With Starbucks, with all these branding, is more about, okay, we collaborate together, but what are your products?
Yes,
people haven't
100%.
seen the products yet.
Perfect, because you always see the brand, the blockchain X, and then the sort of the real world. But then what we don't see is the equation. What comes out of it? It looks very nice, this collab. What is coming out of it? That's a very interesting point.
Yeah. We haven't really seen many things interesting from the big companies' collaboration with blockchain technology yet.
What would you build? Right. What like, given anything, what would you build? What is sort of your dream dApp on Morph? No limits, no restrictions. What would it be?
Yeah, I think for us, definitely the vision of Morph is to bring blockchain into mass adoption. And definitely with the consumer focusing, we are basically building the fundamental thing, which makes people, whether you are in Web3 or Web2, start to realize that, okay, my daily life can actually be supported by a lot of blockchain technology. But I think the biggest pain point and the thing which we can definitely solve the problem with blockchain is as I said, the payment and transaction issues we have in this world. Everybody is still using the Swift system, which was built 50 years ago. The whole system hasn't been changed. The technology hasn't been changed for 50 years. And the problem is that the consequence is that it's super slow. The cost is very high. And also there are a lot of regulation, KYC issues in between. So if you are, I'm not sure where you are based, but if you are going to transact money to any other countries, it's painful, right?
Yes.
And also think about if you are from Middle East, they just restrict you because you are a person who lives in Middle East, in Dubai, for example. They basically always give you super strict KYC if you are going to transact or take the transaction in your country, because they think that there's some terrorist issues there. So, but blockchain can definitely solve these problems with it's basically what Bitcoin was designed for, right? Peer-to-peer transaction with super low cost with a transaction in time, and you don't need to worry too much about the KYC issues. So this is what Morph is going to help with to build up more flat, more easy, more simple transaction system around the world. And also we see a lot of countries, their own fiat currency has some big issues. For example, Turkey, for example, Latin. Turkey from January to today, they have over 50%, if I'm not wrong, over 50% of inflation rate just in this year. So it's crazy. But definitely stable coin and also other cryptocurrencies can help them to solve that problem. It's just how. Is there any chain ecosystem is going to solve these problems? I think it's huge, not only market, but it's huge pain points, which is real world problems in this world right now. And no one is really going to solve these problems. So comparing with just building up small DeFi projects, focusing on a very small group of crypto native community, which maximum I would say several million of people, target audience, and to a big entire country population problem. I think Morph is definitely choosing the second one.
The second one. Awesome. Love it. Cecilia, thank you so much for joining me today. If the listeners want to go and connect with you and Morph, where can they do that?
Well, you can definitely follow our Twitter account, which is Morph L2, and also my personal Twitter account is Cecilia Hsueh. It's just my name, and definitely also we have listed all our contacts on our official website.
Okay, and we'll put all the links in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me. And to our listeners, peace, love, and prosperity. I'll catch you in the next one.